a different place. It's in a different place. So, OG Lahelica. We're here for this new word of Thanksgiving and being thankful for our upcoming Thanksgiving holiday. So now, Marion and Joanne, I'm turning it over to you, and we're going to sit back and drink our teas and coffees and relax.
Okay. Okay. Erin, shall I go ahead?
Please.
Um, the word Ojali Laheliga there is is used by members of the Cherokee Nation, and it means to express gratitude. And the word of the month for us this month has been gratitude. And an example of this is as the community, gathered. This is Native American. As the community gathered to celebrate the harvest season, a deep sense of Ojala Ojala Heliga. Is that it?
Yes,
What?
you did it right.
Uh, 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 reminding everyone to cherish the gifts of the earth and the bonds they share. I really like that statement. Reminding everyone to cherish the gifts of the earth and the bonds they share. And I want to talk about. Marion and I ended up working together on this word because I came up with some things that had to do with gratitude from my thinking of gratitude, and Marion came up with this word, Helica, and it has, I've learned a lot from it, but putting the two together and everything has been very interesting. One of the things that that I wrote about was how to look at gratitude, how to just keep yourself in a state of gratitude all the time. And something I recommend highly to everyone is think about the word stop, stop, and take those letters, STOP. Spend time out powerfully, or spend time out peacefully, expressing gratitude, or powerfully expressing gratitude. Spend time out purposefully, expressing gratitude. And, it's spend time out every day. Every day, stop every day, at least once a day, preferably 2 or 3 or 4 times a day. Stop and express some gratitude. What are you grateful for? And we can't get through a day. There's no such thing as a day here, in the United States today, unless maybe you're living out by yourself in the boonies somewhere. And, but if you're living an ordinary life, uh, we can't get through a day without encountering all kinds of things that tend to upset us, cause us to get upset, angry, frustrated, and 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 what I recommend is that you stop and think about what you're grateful for. And we have so much to be grateful for, and so much of the time we don't think about it. And I just highly recommend that we think about things we're grateful for. Like, for example, oh gosh, where do I have it? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Anyway, think about, okay, so here's what I was gonna, so let me just go ahead with this. Gratitude. Here's the point of it. Gratitude can turn an ordinary day into a great day. It will make you feel better if you are downtrodden. The initiative to stop and write down a list of things you are grateful for will always lift your spirits. It can also free you to see new actions to take and even move you into action when you feel stuck or emotionally blocked. So, stop. Anytime you're feeling a little bit stuck or blocked or upset or just really angry about something, or stop and start making a list of everything you're grateful for. Just start thinking about, instead of thinking about what has made you so angry and so mad you want to just smash everything and kill the person that upset you and or whatever. What, stop and start thinking about, what do you have to be grateful for? What is in your life that you can express gratitude for? What, and and I'm saying this because this, my experience of being out there in the world with people living and living and living is that we don't think often enough about what we're grateful for. We think about what the problems are, what our upsets are, what can't be, what I need to get done that I'm not getting done, or what I can't do, what I got stopped from doing, what's blocking me, we don't think about what to be grateful for. And I'm saying, start expressing gratitude at least 4 or 5 times a day, every day. Write down at least 10 things you're grateful for. And say thank you, God, for every one of them. And then go on. And I'm sure you'll be in a better place. I can guarantee you'll be in a better place after you do that. And when you get upset again, stop and start writing down things you're grateful for. What?
Yeah.
Did somebody something?
No,
Anyway.
yeah, I clicked someone in, but it made a crazy noise. It went,
Oh, okay. Okay.
I don't know what that was.
Anyway, Marian, did you want to say anything?
It's funny because every month, we pick a topic, and of course for Thanksgiving we wanted it to be about gratitude, and you've written your book on gratitude. So I actually have taken where you're using the word stop, and I'm using it in counseling.
Whoa, stop. You're taking
Stop.
where I'm using the word what?
Where you've written in the article about STOP, spend time out peacefully.
Yeah.
Okay, that
And
part. Okay.
yes.
And so for me, when you were telling me how, and as you just expressed, we have to stop when we're in the middle of a day, or whether we're stuck in traffic and we're having road rage, it doesn't matter. We have to stop.
Yeah.
And I have started using that in counseling, because I have a couple different people that I counsel, and one of them called me, I'm going to say it was about a week and a half ago. And she said, I'm absolutely suicidal. This is it. I'm going to end my life. And I said, stop. I said, I want you to tell me, or write it down on a piece of paper, 5 things you're thankful for. Now, obviously, we can go to the usuals, which are thank you for my home, thank you for my family, etc. But what that does is that takes your neurotransmitters and it makes them go down a different road. Instead of people getting caught up in their emotions and how their emotions bring them down. No, stop. Stop the emotional roller coaster. Come back to gratitude. If you live in gratitude, you know what else you're going to get? More things to be grateful for.
Exactly. Yes.
And that's a proven fact. And the other thing I just wanted to say real quick is, sometimes how we'll pray and we'll, bring to the Lord what we need, and we'll be praying about it. But what I have found is that if I ask with gratitude, like it's already happened. So I'm grateful for all the things that I've already prayed for that God is manifesting in the background.
Beautiful.
That's
Beautiful.
really great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a couple other people that's joined. The word is pronounced Ojilahelica,
Ojilaheli.
which is a Cherokee word that means thankful. And what I was saying earlier is being thankful, as Joanne and Marion just demonstrated, is also very powerful. And what
Yes.
they were saying, when you get into a bad mood, you have someone that just upset you, something that didn't go right. And instead of staying in those feelings of being angry or upset or the negative, just start thinking, I thank you for, thank you for
Thank you. Yes.
my children, my grandchildren, uh my life. And I was saying for my one of my favorite cups with my gold handle. Just the little thing. I thank you for this new soap that I just found that smells so good. Little things like that. You start listing the things that you're thankful for. Thank you for this really good meal that I had last night. All of those kind of things. Just being thankful. Then that negative can't live in being thankful. That the negative have to go, and then you start figuring out what the negative was about, how you can change it, how you can overthrow it, and to make a difference for yourself in your life, instead of staying in that negative, because we all get upset, we all get angry. It's a human emotion, but to get out of that is just to being thankful. It's powerful. And for the Thanksgiving holidays, we grew up that everyone had to go around the table and say what they were thankful for. What were they most thankful for? My son, I have two sons, one that live in Atlanta, and I have a daughter. But my son in Atlanta, they do dinner every day, and every day they ask what, they go around the table and say, what was the height of your day today? Like being thankful. What was the most joyous thing and they go around the table and they share, well, I did this. And then it kind of overtakes the negative things that happen. So whenever as leaders and what we're doing in the world, we will get into those negative places, but our commitment is to change the world, change lives, and for ourselves. And when we start being thankful for what we already have, thankful for the clothes, thankful for the jewelry, and lots of us have some really nice clothes. So no, they just come like priority. Carol Root with her famous lipstick in her hat. Just be thankful that she was caught out in the weather and had on her famous hat. Those little things make the bigger things work. And that's what attracts the bigger things to us, to be thankful for what we already have and not wishing, oh, I wish I would have had more. I wish I would have, like that. So our power as powerful women, these are the gems. These are the things that make us powerful, is those little things of being able to be thankful and knowing that is where our power is. So with that said, I want to just see what some of you have to say about the word. Wait, I gotta look at it again. Ogilahelica. Ogilahelica mean thankful. So Carol Ruth, what about you? What do you think about Ogilahelica?
Well, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Uh, I'm grateful that I figured out after a little while ago. But I am very grateful for my life, which has been full of exciting things and so forth, and has mostly avoided negative things.
Mm-hmm.
And I watch people who have struggled, like the people that you were talking about in the jail in Louisiana. And many of the people who wind up in jail are people who struggled with a variety of problems in their youth and in their middle years. And uh, now I'm very committed kind of people another chance. I won't even say a second chance. They've had their chance, they've had their second chance. Now they're having their third, fourth, or fifth chance to be grateful for not being on drugs or not being not being so impoverished that they are sleeping under a bridge in the rain. There are I'm very, very grateful to and not so active in a variety of ways. So yesterday I went to see the Thanksgiving celebration of my what used to be my little school is now but now has a 5-acre campus in San Francisco, uh, Chinese American International School purchased the Mercy High School campus when the school was unable to recover after the pandemic. It was a high school for girls, and it was Catholic, and it was very strict, and it was well known for that. And the nuns decided that they could not, and of course, there's a declining number of nuns in the world, and they could not continue to run this school with an inadequate number of kids who came back to the school after the pandemic. Yeah. So they sold their property, and through a whole bunch of things for which I am enormously grateful, people came up with enough money for Chinese American International School, this little school that I started 45 years ago. It now has 450 students, and it has this enormous campus, and it was so gratifying. Yes, graders. Fourth grade is always my favorite group. They are so fresh, and so they're getting really smart and educated, but they're also just fresh and questioning and charming. So I had an opportunity to be grateful for an enormous accomplishment that came to that I get credit for as the founder of the school, but that really is the it's the people who worked on it, who contributed money, who contributed time and labor, and came to clean the windows and sweep the floors and do all the incredible number of things that had to go into the very early days of the school. And now we have this beautiful, huge institution. So I am enormously grateful for that and for the people who joined me in creating it. And in terms of being grateful, I have to admit that every morning when I wake up, I get and I spend some time getting myself awake, and in that I express to myself my gratitude for my cozy house and the
Yeah.
of my community. In fact,
Yeah, I think your internet is going off and on, or is that just mine?
by
Can everyone hear Carol Ruth?
No.
No,
No, she's got
No.
it's breaking up.
that breaking up. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm breaking up, did you say?
Yeah, I
Yes.
can hear you
Good.
now.
You can hear me now? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's my story of gratitude. I have no, I have old people's bad knees and a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but I still manage to get around, and
Yeah, you do.
I am, and I'm looking forward to an in-person meeting of this group somewhere, sometime in the next year. I think I'll be around for another year or so, and then who knows? But I'm happy. I'm grateful, and that's a big part of who I am.
That is so awesome. Well, just so you can mark your calendar, our next event in San Francisco is December 13th at 6 p.m. We're at the Sir
Okay,
Francis Weston again. And the Breakfast Club, which you're
okay, let me write that down.
yeah.
Say
And
that
the
again. December
December the 13th,
the 13th.
the 6 o'clock at the Weston. The
Are
same
you gonna
hotel
be,
we were at before.
are you going to be here in Houston on the 12th?
Yeah,
Are
I'm
you
trying to see how I'm going to be there, and then I got to fly back that evening so I could be for
Okay.
San Francisco. That's my plan.
Okay, good.
So, thank you, Carol. I know that you stay in gratitude. It was just so phenomenal to listen that when you were in prison for helping people fighting civil rights, that you came up with made the game. What do you call that?
The
Chess
chess set.
out of
My
tissue
chess
paper.
set.
You know, you just
Yeah, I just kept on going.
you kept on going. It was just amazing. So
Uh-huh.
I just want to just thank you for that. And I see Irma have joined us. Welcome, Irma. Our word today is Ogilahelia. I can pronounce that word out.
Lahalia.
Being thankful. Being thankful. So Connie, are you able to talk? What is it that you can be thankful for? Like, how do you use Ogilahelika? Connie, you with us? You're
You're
on
muted, Connie.
sometimes it's hard. Okay, well, Dr. Honeycutt, I see that you're
I
not
got
on
it.
mute. Oh, you got it? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go
Okay.
to Dr. Honeycutt next.
All right. I'm thankful to be with inspiring board members here who embrace the spirit of that word by joining in support of each other. I just didn't want to murder that word. By joining in support of each other while tackling the challenges of their organizations and making a difference in the world. I just can't think.
Oji Lahelica.
Oji Lahelica.
There you got it.
But the spelling of it doesn't kind of
Well,
ring.
it's a Cherokee word.
Oh, okay. All righty.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen to it online. Just put the word in and say pronounce, and it'll give it to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, I am thankful for being with this group and the inspiring people here. Personally, it's been one of the most difficult years of my life. We're losing quite a few people, but we're turning things around. And every morning I do write 10 things. Well, every evening I write 10 things down I'm grateful for, and then meditate on them and visualize how happy I am on of something in particular that happened. And then in the morning, I write it again and then meditate for a while. And I say, like when I'm in a car and someone cuts us off, I just kind of, I don't know if you can see me, but I just do like that and send that energy away.
That's right.
My
Instead of making them wrong, that's so powerful too, because we all get, upset. People do things like that or cut us and we're standing in a long line and try to cut us. And if we just give that, just be, okay, thankful I'm in the line, it changes your mood. And
I
you
sit
start attracting beautiful things. So if you want to change your mood, start saying all the things that you're thankful for. Thankful for the shoe. You look down on your feet, you say, oh, I love these shoes. Thank you for that. Just being thankful is powerful. And after listening to everyone, I'm going to incorporate being thankful and teaching the kids that we're working with in the community. That's a part of our program as of today. I got that idea. So thank all of you for that. So Dr. Honeycutt, you're next. So what the word for the day is Ojila Helika. Be thankful.
And indeed, good morning to all of you wonderful ladies. That word is very appropriate. My mother, excuse me, I have Cherokee ancestry within my roots. And, and I'm grateful to God for that. But I just wanted to say, this is on my heart, ladies. I'm grateful for God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit for being in my life and allowing me to pray to them and rely on them for the many things that are happening, not only in my life and in the lives of many people, not only in America, but globally. I just frankly could not make it without them in my life. And everything good flows from them for me. I'm a living testimony to that. And I know the rest of you are who love him. Okay. He's been so good to my family, my friends. I think I've told you before about all three of my grandchildren are either matriculating or have matriculated through wonderful educational institutions. The ability to do that was something my mother and grandmother shared with me. They said, Ronnie, you love God with all your heart and soul and being. I'm going to repeat that every time I get a chance to talk to all of you. That's how powerful that is. Number one, they said, that's number one. Number two, get an education so you'll have some skills and work hard and don't complain about working hard. Do that work unto God and everything will be all right.
Okay.
I want to, it won't take me long, Valerie, with this because I wrote it down so I can move through it.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay,
We
so that
love when you talk.
I love listening to you and the other ladies, to be honest with you. And thank you for letting me, old Veronica Honeycutt, ease the emotional and psychological burdens that people are experiencing now, particularly after the election. People are calling me.
Yeah.
What are we going to do? I said, pray, turn everything over to God. If it's negative, turn it over to God. I was talking to a man in a post office, wonderful little Asian gentleman that I know. He was all upset. He said, I'm going to be upset for all the time. I said, let me help you with this. Number one, do you have a family? He said, I have a wife. And then he started naming the children and the great grandchildren. And I said, listen, let me help you with this. You can't be angry for or being stressed for 4 years. If you insist on carrying that, you will either have high blood pressure or have a heart attack, and I will not be able to see you in this post office. And he grumbled, and I said, but you heard what I said. Okay. Now, and other people are calling me. They're stressed out and everything. This is not a time for stress. This is the time to pray and ask
Yes.
God to give us the strength that we need so that we are ready. If things happen, we got to be ready to fight. You fight evil. I don't care how old you are or how young you are. You fight evil. And when it turns out right, then you applaud these people for doing the right thing. Okay? So we have to make sure that we do that.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for all of my experiences, good and bad, because God was developing what in me? He was developing my character and giving me wisdom and understanding. I was relating the different things in terms. I've never been successful. That's why I look at people who have been successful. My daughters and son-in-law have been married for 35 plus years, and they're not that old. Okay. I look at other people, they've been married 60 years. That wasn't part of my plan, evidently. But I am, and Joanne, I'm looking at Joanne on the screen now. She's been with her husband 100 years. Okay. You know, through the good and the bad. I hear Joanne talk very frankly about that. We need to hear that. You're in a relationship. Okay. And it's wonderful when I see people who have been in blessed relationships for a long time. But I'm grateful for the good and the bad. And I'm grateful for the young man who stopped me when I was coming out of a meeting. And he told me, thank you, Dr. Honeycutt, for telling me to go and use my certificate of preference to get a house over at 400 China Basin, hint, hint, those of you in San Francisco, if you have a COP. And, you know, and I was able to get a house. This was a young man. And he said, not only did the house, are we on title, but all of my children and their children will be on title too. That's God working through me to tell him to go get a house. Everyone we get is important. I learned that a long time ago. That, you know, 2 or 3 or 4 people, especially gathered in God's name, can do amazing and miraculous things. You don't need hordes of people behind you. All you need is God and his son and the Holy Spirit. I'm thankful for that young man. And then I told him, tell somebody else. He said, I already have. And he's working on trying to get it. Okay. That's God using me, using you to do those one marvelous things that you do to help others. So I'm grateful for that opportunity that he can use me, an imperfect vessel. I got lots of issues that only he helps me to get past so that I can do his work. And that's my ultimate objective. I believe that God blesses us when we help others. I've had many opportunities throughout my long lifetime because God opened up the path for me to accomplish my lifelong objectives of service. And I want to tell you, folks, I'm grateful to God for allowing me to eventually learn how to turn over problematic issues to him. Don't hold on to them forever, because that just defeats me and defeats me from doing his purpose. Okay. And I want you to pay very close attention to that, because a lot of times we take things in and we stew over it for 2 or 3 weeks instead of just, God, help me, turn it over to him. Okay. And I'm really grateful for you ladies allowing me to have more time than I probably should have to talk with you about the things for which I am grateful. And believe me, I am grateful for all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hanika.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Chi-Chi. I see you have on your holiday colors too, Thanksgiving, warm colors.
Yes. Hello, everyone. You know, I have so much to be thankful for. With gratitude in my heart, I'm just thankful for life. That's number one. I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for my community. I am thankful for having a roof over my head. I am thankful for being able to serve the children of my community, serving on the County Board of Education, being their voice. I am grateful for God for using me to help others. I am grateful for the opportunity to help those widows that I do help. I am grateful for God for giving me the opportunity to provide clean drinking water for many. I am grateful for God using me to provide a sewing school for those young girls, rather than seeing them standing out on the street being prostituted or being prostituted by all these wealthy men, helping them build their own self-esteem. I am thankful for my daughter, who this is her last year at UCLA. Most importantly, I am thankful for good health. You know, the things that we take for granted, the big houses, the big car, the beautiful things that we have. I think the most important thing in life is being healthy. To me, I say health is wealth. When you are healthy, you can accomplish any dream that your heart desires. But when you are bedridden, you can't move, you are unable to, to achieve any of those. So I declare in my declaration, I declare that this year, for being healthy, and I promise to do good, to be healthier next year. I'm grateful for this community. I'm grateful for you, Valerie, for Marianne, for all the members of this Powerful Women International, Powerful Women International. That is a wonderful name, powerful. As we women, we need shoulders to cry on. Having a platform where we can come together and share our wins, share our disappointments, and plan for the future. That is something to be grateful for. So again, I am grateful to God for waking me up today to be able to attend this meeting. So there's a lot of people in the world struggling, but the fact that some of us, even in our imperfection, we're still here, smiling, cuddling, and speaking to one another. That on its own is a big gratitude. So I am grateful to be warm as I think about all the
That's a
homeless.
nice wrap.
Uh-huh.
And I like the orange hat.
So-
It looks a lot like Carol's red cap.
Yeah.
Imagine. Yeah, so honestly, I am so grateful to be grateful. So to show gratitude for little things, you get bigger things.
That's
So
true.
we can't always dream big, but every little win that we receive, we should celebrate it,
That's
and then
right.
bigger things will happen. So happy Thanksgiving. And as we celebrate Thanksgiving, Dr. Hanekat, all of us cried when the election was over, but you know what? God knows what he's doing.
Yes, he does.
He will always challenge us We are all conquerors. So as we go out there, let's conquer the world. Let's stay positive, and let's believe that the Lord that we serve knows exactly what He's doing,
Yes.
and He will never disappoint us. Amen. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you very much.
Mhm. Irma, are you able to talk?
Yes, I can. Valerie, would you pronounce the word again?
Oji la
Oh,
heli.
Helika.
Oji la helica.
Yeah, you got it.
Oh, Helika.
Oji la helica. Well,
Good
first of all,
job.
let me just say I don't know what to say after having listened to the last three speakers. You take my breath away, frankly. I've just returned from the U.S., so I'm thankful for having been there during the election period, just to get a sense, because I see things from outside. So for me, it was interesting to be in the US during this period to get a sense of what really a lot of you have been dealing with, as I've heard you talk on the different calls that we had. So I'm thankful for that experience. I won't talk about my reaction to it, but I am thankful for having that experience. For me, I'm thankful for you, all of you, this circle of love, this circle of power, and this circle of hope and faith. I think in the period that we're all experiencing, we need people like Powerful Women International. We need people who can reflect the resilience, I think Dr. Honeycutt was referring to, that we all need to have, and to help those around us who need it as well. So I'll be simple. I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Irma. I appreciate it. Denise, are you able to talk? Denise, Dr. Denise Strong calling you to the house. Calling you to the mic.
Hold on a minute, Valerie. I'm in the car. Let me pull over. But I'll echo ditto to what everyone has just said. And I also wanted to add to the list of what I'm thankful for is our ancestors. So yeah, I'm grateful for our ancestors and the stand that they took for a powerful future, and the steps that they took, and the actions and the strategies and the sacrifices that they made so that we could live a life of privilege. And many of them did not get to enjoy the opportunities that they fought for and that they sought and that they stood for. But we now get to live a life of privilege based on the work that they did. So I'm grateful for our ancestors. And I wanted to quote, there's a song that we're familiar with, the National Negro Anthem, actually based on a poem by James Weldon Johnson. But it begins, two of the verses or two of the lines that really inspire me is to sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us, but more importantly, to sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. And facing the rising sun of our new day begun, let us march on till victory is won. Because we know that victory is ours. And we live in that conviction, regardless of how the present looks. We live in the conviction that victory is ours.
Beautiful.
Wow,
Amen.
that's awesome.
Beautiful.
I think she dropped.
She did. She dropped.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could hear her tearing up.
Yes.
Robin, are you able to talk? Do you want to say what you're thankful for?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, thank you for asking. I'm thankful for OG Lahelica and
You
being on this
pronounced
call.
it.
Good job.
That's because I wrote it down in syllables. but but I'm thankful for hearing all of you give me a testimony of what you are thankful for. I'm thankful right now to be on the lake and just look at these boats.
Are you on the lake? Must be.
Yeah.
Robin is in New Orleans, so the weather must be okay there.
Yes, it is.
That's,
Thankful for getting up this morning. I'm sorry. Thankful for getting up this morning, waking up, thankful for health and strength, thankful for, oh, excuse me, I understand how the tears can come.
it's okay.
Five, and help us, me just stand on the way.
Yeah, you're breaking up now, Robin. We heard you before, but you're breaking up.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'll conclude by saying I'm just thankful for life and thankful to be able to help people.
Yeah,
And thank you for
Robin is
calling on me.
working with us with the school in New Orleans. She's working with the kids at the school also. So we thank you for all the work that you're doing too. And she's on our global team as well. Robin is the one who writes the health article with the help of Marion.
Awesome.
But that's her section. So thank you, Robin. Denise, I know you fell off. Do you want to finish what you were saying?
Let me see. Am I on again?
Yes.
Oh, I don't even know where. So what happened? The call just dropped.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just saying that I think I was referring to the path for us that we're following, that our ancestors cleared the way for, and that's what we're up to today, so that future generations can live a full life, totally engaged. So our grandchildren and our great grandchildren. But the other thing is, I had wanted to see if I can find it. Hold on for 1 minute. Yeah. So I'm always inspired by the words of the Negro National Anthem, which begins "Lift every voice and sing." But the two verses or the two lines that really speak to what we're talking about is that his admonition that we should sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us, and sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. So it's really recognizing and acknowledging that, things have not always been the way we want them to be, but things will not always be the way they are, and that we live into a powerful future, and that our ancestors, and I guess this is what I wanted to acknowledge and be thankful for, in addition to everything else, that there is to be thankful for. Thank our ancestors for standing for us. Thank our ancestors for inspiring us, and thank our ancestors for standing in the gap for us. So that's what I wanted to say.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. I just really got present to the work that we're doing with our communities and the togetherness, the work that we're doing, touching lives in New Orleans. So we had a call on yesterday about the New Orleans project, and I don't think any of you were on that call. although a lot of you are part of that team. So I have a question. One of the things that we need to do that was put in my heart, like God spoke to me and told me that there's a lot of contention in the lower ninth ward. What's going on is that there are 30 pastors in that small area. A lot of them have churches. They're territorial. There's a spirit of lack because if there are 5 people that bid for a contract, and a lot of these pastors are community leaders as well. If they bid for a contract or a grant and one of them get it, then the others are upset about that. So there's, a struggle. And in order for us to work, they have to learn to work together. So we are doing a roundtable and prayer luncheon for the community on the January the 15th. So what I'm asking you is that if you have any insight on bringing community together, like please give me your insight, we could do a Zoom call, anything that that you feel that we can do to bring the community together. One of the things on the call is Vanessa, Vanessa, our member in Tennessee that had the reentry. She also has a Montessori school that she built in Tennessee, and she was in New Orleans working with the community. She said that we need a buy-in from the community. What could the community, what do we need to say to the community to have them come out and to have them work together? The other thing I want to say is in our rebranding from PWI to PWIC, the first model we have of working with all women, any women, and to what we're doing now, working with only women humanitarians. We were told by our consultant to watch the movie Invictus with Nelson Mandela and how he brought together the community. So as a part of PWIC, I'm inviting, all of our members, if you have some insight on what we could do to bring unity, bring love to that community. One of the things we want to teach them about is forgiveness. Doing that, forgiveness and that there is no lack. So I'm open for your ideas, your concern, your prayers for that community. So if anyone have any insight that they'd like to share on what we could do to bring that community together, please let me know. Or if anyone want to schedule a call. So is there anything from anyone?
Valerie, may I say something?
Yeah.
In regard to this, I'm sorry I couldn't make that meeting yesterday, but I would suggest that you talk to someone who has, I've worked the communities since I was a teenager, and it has been an enriching experience, and it has been an eye opener for me. And those of us who work the community know that we are loved by some and detested by others. And, you just move on.
Right.
What you do the best that you can for each person and move on. But here's the thing. Right now, many of these communities, not just down in New Orleans, many of these communities are not working well together.
Right.
Okay. I think it's partially because of the, I call it poor leadership. Because if you really want to lead, you have to kind of take everyone as they come and as they get up in your face and just work with them. Okay. Agreeing, you need to know that they will not agree with you on everything.
Right.
But there are some key issues that they can, but the other thing that people need to do, reason why we're having a lot of problems, I think, in America, one of the many reasons is because we refuse to talk to one another.
Mm-hmm.
So what you do is you bring the groups together, like a person who's a leader, give them lunch. You'll see me at Max's here in San Francisco when I'm trying to pull some people together. and you just listen to them and ask them what their concerns are. Okay, yeah, they're probably warring with each other because there are not many grants available.
Right.
And oftentimes they have to rely on those grants in order to keep their organizations going. I mean, that's kind of the way it is. But if they could have, perhaps someone could get them a grant writer who could look at grants for each of those organizations, and or more importantly, get them to work together and unify so that they would be able to go after these grants together if the grant is, rich enough to be able to do that.
Right.
But at some point, you're always going to have to get down to facing getting these individuals to come together to talk about their issues, and it's not going to be pretty.
Right.
Okay, and so you have to be resilient. Okay, and let them. I've had people call me every name except my real name. Okay, and then meet me outside the door and say, "Hi, Dr. Honeycutt, how are you?" I mean,
Right, yeah.
weren't you just talking about me like a dog? Okay, but I mean, you can't put yourself in it. You got to find out what their needs are. Okay, and so someone's going to have to do what I call the deep work, Valerie, and that is just someone being able to go in there and talk with them, and individually, okay, if appropriate. And then bringing them together to let's talk about how we can work together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's a good insight to talk to them, because I will do. That's really great. It works for me.
Let me tell you this:
when you talk to people individually and then bring them, it
makes a difference. And Valerie, it has to be someone with the skills that you have. Okay, not everybody can do that.
Denise is really good. Pam is really good with that.
Okay, Pam is good. Denise is good. It's going to take a Pam, Denise, or you, or someone of that ilk who has those kinds of skills.
Gail, right?
More importantly, that kind of love.
Yeah,
you have to love somebody.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Denise. Go ahead.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I was on or not. But
okay, and Denise, wait a minute. It takes someone with that kind of skill set, and someone who, if people say something about you, okay, honey, I still love you, and I'm going to pray for you. Okay, but the idea is to get them to talk to you or somebody, and then you got to bring them together, even if it's just on certain core issues. Okay, now when it's about money, it gets problematic because people, unfortunately, even though they say they are not swayed by money, they are.
Yeah.
Okay. And so the other thing I would say to you is talk to somebody who has the experience of doing community work for a long period of time, not only here, but maybe nationally and internationally. And so I would recommend that you speak to Commissioner Linda Richardson and have that conversation with her about how to bring the community together. She has done that not only here, but also in her home country of Nigeria.
Okay.
Okay. And
great. I will definitely reach out to her.
Yeah.
Denise, what were you saying?
Yeah. What I wanted to ask is what are the indicators in terms of the churches or the various entities not working together? Can you has anyone given you examples? Like,
well, when
this happened and it's a result of our not being unified.
Yeah, got it. So what I listen to the listening, like beyond what people are saying, not just the words coming out of their mouth. So I began to, as I'm talking to some of the community leaders, I listen to the things that they say. So Reverend Calhoun sent me a list of all of the churches. And I was looking for his name, for his email. And then it came as a name I didn't know. So I said, yeah, I got the list. I said, but that's not your name or email. And he said, I use all kind of different names. I don't want them people to know where I am and what I'm doing. I went, something's going on there. Like, why you're hiding? And I've heard pulling together the community meeting, I heard a lot of people, they're not going to show. And listening to that kind of language and what they are not going to do, which was a part of the community. So, as I'm doing my prayers, I started hearing there's a lot of contention. there, and I started picking it up. So I thought about that movie Invictus and how that community, Nelson Mandela brought that community together. I was thinking about and I am going to try to contact Nelson Mandela's son, our grandson. I have his email address. I hope I can still contact him, because Nelson Mandela used also, after he did what he did to bring more community, whole South Africa together, he also used landmark education. And Larry Pearson, he asked Larry to come to South Africa to bring community together. And the grandson I met when he came to San Francisco, he was a part of bringing that community together. So I'm going to reach out and see. I hope he still has the same email address, because that was some years ago that I, to see what they did. And I would encourage everyone to look at the movie in Invictus for yourselves and your own projects. So Irma, you wanted to say something? I see you're not on mute.
Yes, I was going to say Invictus, I think it's a fabulous film. And actually, if you don't want to see the whole film, well, you could go to YouTube and get the excerpts where they focus in on particular parts, such as when he's with the community and how he gets them to look at something different. The other thing, building on what Dr. Honeycutt has said, is the idea of bringing people to what's common ground. What is it they all agree on already? And not necessarily starting from there, but helping people remember there's certain things they all agree to. What it sounds like you're experiencing is they're focusing on their differences, and they're not talking to what is it they all see as a common vision of something. Now, how to get there may be different. But what is it they agree on? And if you can, because we know that in all communities, they're not homogeneous. They're always heterogeneous. There's always going to be cliques. There's always going to be somebody that sees something different. So I think it's helping people understand that and saying that's okay. We don't all have to agree on everything, but if we can zero in on where we're trying to go. If we can agree on that, then we can sort out the how we get there. Because there's going to be one, as we say sometimes here, there's more than one way to get to Mecca, and it's helping people see that, because they get locked into you can only do it my way. And like you were describing to us, people are pointing out what other people don't do. But it never occurs to them, those same people are saying something about them doing the same thing.
Because I like that. That's really great. That is really great. Some great insight. One of the things that I'm hearing, since we are, working to build the New Orleans community as a project for what we were asked to do for the Lower Ninth Ward, one of the things when we go through all of these things, like fighting for the schools, knowing what to do, what not to do, going through the politics and learning that, we could use that as a model for all the other schools that's going through that. We could use bringing the community together, that we all put our insights in. And once we bring that community together, we will be known as the experts of doing that. And we can do that in other communities, duplicate what we're doing in that one thing to help all other communities and all of the things that, will become. Yes, Carol Ruth.
I have 2 points to add.
Okay.
The first point is a procedural one. I think that Dr. Honeycutt was talking about contacting all of these ministers in New Orleans, but I would suggest to you that you have to call them individually first. Mm-hmm. You have to do a one-on-one with each one of them. But you also, so that's my first suggestion, And I think it has to be you, Valerie, you and perhaps somebody else on the line from New Orleans who say, hey, we are calling about. And then the about, you have to offer them something tangible that they can, if they sign on, will, in their opinion, benefit them. And you're talking about the grandson of Nathan Mandela. I don't know where he lives or what he does, but he would be an appropriate person to headline a fundraiser for all of the churches, that a shared fundraiser for all of these little churches that are in, that you're talking to. So if you have 10 little churches and they all agree that yes, we are not big enough to attract a star like somebody with a Nelson Mandela name, but together, if we work together, we may be able to get a little piece of the benefit of that. And do, but it has to be a tangible benefit to them. Otherwise, they're not going to, given their lack of working together previously, they're not going to say, well, I'm not going to work for something that's going to benefit my brother church, only my church. And you can understand that because these little churches, particularly in places like Louisiana and also in places in Africa that I have experienced, like Ghana, these churches are very small. They usually have only, they're around one charismatic leader, one charismatic pastor, and they're like a small business. And the pastor's job is to find enough money to pay the rent and get people singing at the next Sunday. So those are my two suggestions. Number one, that you have a specific benefit that they can tie into, and then you use that as a means of discussing how, in general, they should want to share. Number two, or number one, is you have to talk to each one of them individually. And when you do, keep a running record of everything that you said, everything that they said, so that you can go back when you get a call from one of them, you can quickly see who he is or who she is, and what their experiences were, etc.
Right.
And then I think the last thing that you should think about is each of these pastors has an investment in being the charismatic leader of their own church. And they're very, I'm the big cheese kind of attitude. And you've got to be very humble and very low key in talking to them. Gee, you're so wonderful. We'd like to talk to you about doing this other thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Honeycutt.
Okay, so Irma was right in terms of what she's sharing with you. I already said that you should talk to the people individually before you bring them together as a collective. So Carol Ruth is just reiterating what I said in terms of that. And I was not sure, I did not hear that you were talking about just doing the pastors in terms of the work that needs to be done with the group. I thought that there were some key community people there as well.
Yeah, so it's the pastors are involved. There's 30 pastors and the community leaders.
Okay, that's what I said. Okay. So what this whole focus on just the pastors is, in my estimation, humble estimation, not enough. Because you see, it's key community people oftentimes who have been going through trying to get things to go in the right direction, even when the pastors go astray. Okay. And let's get real about this. Not everybody who is spiritual is attending a church on a regular
Right.
basis.
That's true.
Okay, so you've got to make sure that people in the community, key stakeholders in the community, are involved in what you're doing.
Yes.
Because oftentimes they have more influence, believe it or not, than the pastors. Because if the pastors are warring, you might find one or two of them that understands his or her mandate, Christian, Muslim, Jewish mandate, and works together to accomplish some good. But you will generally find some key community people whose mission it is to try to bring good to the total community. So I would not overlook those key community people. Oftentimes they can offset the hostility or whatever issues the pastors are experiencing. Okay. And again, and I'm going to say this again, Commissioner Linda Richardson was in very close contact with Winnie Mandela and had a beautiful activity. I don't know if you were invited to it, to honor Winnie. And so therefore she has those kinds of connections with here in Africa, throughout the world, because of her, her experiences and family lineage and all that, where you need to really kind of talk with somebody who can, and she's done a lot of work in San Francisco, serves on the commission for Treasure Island, is one of the key people over there in building out on housing and opportunities for people. You need to talk to someone like that, is what I'm saying to you, Valerie. Okay. Then get that person's opinion. Give that person tell that person again, and she knows already what you're doing in New Orleans, and ask her, how can you overcome this issue?
Okay. Awesome.
Okay. Valerie, I want to also add, just to follow up. I think one of my concern, these are concern that I'm experiencing right now. It sounds as though what we're talking about is coming into a community and telling them, we're here to help you, versus, and we know what your problem is. We've already made that decision. And I'm not saying we're saying that in those words literally, but there are people in the lower ninth ward who have been, toiling in the fields for years. So who are those people?
Mm-hmm.
And, there's nothing more disempowering, and also it has an impact on your credibility if you are coming in announcing what their problem is.
Yeah, we're not going to do that for sure.
Well, whether or not we're going to do that, it sounds as though that could be interpreted that way. And part of, Dr. Honeycutt, I'm sure, is aware of part of what, there are community organizing strategies that are long tested. People who are more well-versed in community organizing, I'm not one of those people, but there are people who specialize in doing grassroots community organizing. And what are the principles and what are the tenets? And one of the big things is understanding and accepting that people know what they need, and they know what they want.
Right.
And oh God, I lost my train of thought.
Yeah. You're just very passionate.
No, but Denise, you had it right. We are not going to tell them what they need.
Right.
What we are doing is getting them to share with us what they need. See, that's the problem that America's experiencing. We are going to tell people that, even though we know that, and I'm going to use an example of this, okay? 50 to 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
Okay. But we're going to try to pretend like everything's okay, that they're not experiencing anything as a result of inflation, high prices in store. I found a gasoline station out here in San Francisco that is selling gas for $3.58 a gallon. I'm trying to let everybody I know get to that station to try to get some gasoline because you will not
Yeah.
see that again. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yep.
so what you're absolutely right, Denise. You can't tell people what to do. From my years of organizing, I have to sit up there and listen to them. Even when they, they're not always making sense. But then if you
Even
keep
when they're talking crazy, you got to
when they're
listen to
talking
them.
crazy, Denise, you know that. How many times have we sat up there and they're talking all kinds and you're going, okay, no, and then you keep working with them. And you know what? The more you sit up there and listen and work with them, and they know that you love and you care about them, eventually, but you're going to have to put the time in. You're going to have to have God to help you to be able to talk with them and understand their issues. Until we do that, not only in our communities, but across America, where we start listening and talking to one another and not being judgmental, we're always going to have these issues. You're absolutely right, Denise. We can't tell people how to live their lives. They're living it. Find out how they're living it and see what we can do to help them. You're
And
right.
I guess I would say a couple of other things is that there are, or maybe not, but at least there used to be neighborhood associations in all of these neighborhoods. So what neighborhood associations are there? If there are any, what have they been doing? And maybe the strategy is to say we are a resource. Like, what are the issues that you need that you could use some support on? What are the critical issues? But in terms of like concrete issues, for example, the expansion of the industrial canal, it was a concrete issue some years ago. I don't know if it still is. But what information do you need? Or would technical training assist you how to write a letter or how to do research on interacting with federal, state, or local agencies, or how could we be useful and helpful to you? What issues have you already been working on? Because my concern and what I'm listening to, like in the background, is it's like we're from the government and we're here to help you. It's like a paraphrasing of that.
Yeah, got it. Okay, well, we'll get that. Chi-Chi, you be the last person, and then we're gonna have to go. I really appreciate this insight from everyone. It's giving me, more to bring to our team and how we can structure it and how we can make this work. So I appreciate it. Chi-Chi, go ahead.
Wait, Valerie, wait, just a minute. Valerie,
Yeah.
I want to say something real quick about the cards. Everyone gets I do a follow-up card thanking everyone for being on this call. It'll come out right away because I already have half of it ready. But it's coming mixed with your Thanksgiving cards and all of that. I want you to really watch for this because there's something very special will be on the inside left of that card instead of a bunch of words having to do with what we talked about at the beginning. It's a special symbol having to do with gratitude, and you will want to see that and read that and hold on to that. So I just want you to know to watch for that card coming and
Okay, thank you.
And see it. Okay.
All right, thank you. Go ahead, Chi-Chi.
All right, thank you so much. I just want to chime in a little bit, Valerie, as you make this call. I think it's time. Some of the problems we're having is probably not just in New Orleans, it's everywhere. Is that some of the pastors are really forgotten why they are pastors. They are actually the community leaders. They are the stopgap for the problems that we have. So if they cannot even resolve problems among themselves, then what can? So I think we need to bring them back to let them know that there is a sense of urgency. Because if we can look up to them and the younger generation can look up to them, they're allowing greed to set in. Something is wrong. We have that everywhere, even here in the valley, because they're not willing to share resources. They are supposed to be the resources that guide everyone in their various communities, and they come together to solve problems. Can you imagine that we, the ordinary people, are not going to solve problems for the men and women of God that is supposed to be the stopgap for each and every one of us? So I think that is the number one thing that we need to pay attention to call them back home to their purpose. Why did they sign up to be a leader in the first place. What would Jesus do? They
Mm.
are supposed to be the men and women that carry on the mantle to bring peace, justice, and equality and equity to each and every one of the communities that they serve. I think we're not going to solve their problem. We just need to bring them back home to make them understand that the confusion that they're creating is creating bad impact in their communities. So we are not stepping in to tell them that we are leaders of them. However, we are stepping in to let them understand their purpose of being ministers and pastors of the Word of God.
Yeah.
When we come in from that angle, they will not look at you as someone who is coming to solve their problem. They will stop and think, because you're going to let them know that they are confusing you. They are confusing the women that you serve. They are confusing the community
That's right.
that you serve. Because the purpose and the reason why they pick up the Bible every day is to use that Bible to teach us the word of acceptance, the word of forgiveness. And if you can't forgive, then what are you doing?
Right.
I didn't want to be part of this, because we are doing it here. We are women, but yet we are carrying on shoulder of so many. So if a man of God, a woman of God cannot put their grievances behind them and come into the community to rebuild and to bring the faith and confidence of our people forward, then who can?
That's right.
That's
Right.
what we need to make them understand. And you can do
Understand.
that.
Yes, we will do that. Thank you so much, Chi. Well, thank you all ladies for all of the things you're doing. Remember our word, Ojihelia. Oh shoot, I can't even say it now. Ojihelika. And being thankful for this Thanksgiving holiday coming up. And I wanted to remind you that our roundtable events working with the UN, New Orleans is December 11th. It's on the newsletter. Reducing recidivism and building community. December the 12th is Houston. Is building a new sustainable community for future careers. And December 13th, San Francisco, 6 o'clock. The other two is the 11th is a luncheon. 6 o'clock is a dinner for San Francisco. And that one is on navigating, I forgot what it was, but it's on the mindset. It's dealing with the mind and and how to get over that. I'm not looking at it on the long title, but we have our mental health specialist is going to speak on that. So I thank you all for being on the call. And Joanne, I'll get you the recording.
Terrific. Thank you.
I think all of you have a great rest of your weekend and a great holiday. If you have any insight or anything else you want to say, please give me a call. So,
Thank you. Bye-bye
au
now.
revoir.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanksgiving.
Thank you
Happy
all. Happy
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
All right, go on, Chi.
Great call.
Yes.
I'm thankful for all of you.
Yeah.
Thank
you.
you.
Thankful for you all too.
Thank you.
Have a happy
Well,
Thanksgiving.
happy Thanksgiving, and be well and be blessed.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Au revoir. Au revoir, mes amis.
I don't know how to get out of here. It's different
Au
from what.
revoir, bonne fête.
What? What do I click on?
Bye. Have a nice holiday.
Thank you, Irma.
Bye.